Hey guys, so welcome to the deep dive for week 1 core for our new game of the month for March called Seasons. So for this, we're going to be only focusing on one subject, which is going to be creating an instruction button. So that's going to be the main focus for our deep dive, and we're going to be breaking this up into multiple different sections. So the first thing that we want to go ahead and do is we want to go ahead and create our intro screen button, kind of set everything up that we need before adding other things as well. So to start off, since we already have a well-working play button, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to duplicate this. So I'm going to hover over my play button, going to right click and duplicate it, and I'm going to rename this info button, and I'm going to remove the 2. So we've duplicated the entire code for this, and it's not going to say the same because we are going to need to change it significantly to make it a little bit different. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go into my costumes, and I want to now focus on changing this up. So you guys have 2 different options. You can use what you have and play around with it and change it even more, or you can just delete both costumes, start completely fresh, and create new buttons for the info button itself. So it's kind of up to you. So I'll show you the first way because the second way is pretty simple. You can just go ahead and go into your select tool, click on the trash button, and start again, then deleting the second costume. And once you delete it, you can just focus on creating the first costume, duplicate it, and then change it. But for those of you who want to still have the similar button, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste it over here. So what I would do is first, if I have a backdrop, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it, especially if the shape is going to be very different. I'm going to go ahead and click on the actual button that I have, and then I can go ahead and change the colors that I want for it. So for this one, I'm going to actually swap it around. So my border is actually going to be the one with the lighter color, and my inside is going to be the one with the darker color, whereas before it was a little bit flipped. So that's the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change the shape a little bit as well. So I'm going to use my reshape tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and play around with it. So maybe create a different version of kind of the shape that I already have. So I'm kind of adding these little spikes here and there, and all the different places that I had and my main points. And I think I'll do this here to finish it up. Okay. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to now use my text tool. I'm going to click on the text that I already have, and I'm going to change this to info. You guys can also change it to instructions. Again, you might need to change the size of it just so that the word can kind of fit a little bit better. You can also make it how to play, pretty much whatever you want, as long as the player understands that by clicking this, it's going to give them a how to play the game. So once we have this, and I can go ahead and also change this color to a different one as well. So maybe this red, since I used it for the last button as well. Okay. So now that I have that, now I can go ahead and click on the shape if I did that last time, copy and paste it. I'm going to remove the outline. I'm going to change the fill with a gradient. I'm going to go ahead and make the color, one of the colors, black, and the other one is going to be invisible. I'm going to move it behind it, and I'm just going to move it a little bit until I'm happy with it to kind of give it the same effect as my previous button. Once I'm done with this, I can go ahead and now delete my old button number 2. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, and I'm going to add those little changes that I did beforehand. So I'm going to go ahead and use my paint bucket tool. I'm going to select my border color. I'm going to add that inside. And then for my info, I'm going to give it a, maybe that's a little bit too light, but at least a little bit of a lighter color. That way we can kind of see the difference between the both of them. And once I'm done, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to fix up the code and move a couple of things.